Welcome to South Hill Sports, and here is your host, Wes Drawn.
Welcome to South Hill Sports. I'm your host, Wes Drawn. This is the special Ray Rice edition. Today we're joined here by NFL enthusiast Diego Brindis. Thanks for coming here today.
Thanks for having me.
So, Ray Rice has been in the news a lot lately. He was recently indefinitely suspended from the NFL, lost his contract with the Baltimore Ravens, and lost his endorsement from Nike. Do you think the media is being too harsh on him?
I have to say no. I'm going to have to go ahead and say no. I don't think the media is being too harsh on him. We've seen the video. He's made his press conference statement, and no one's biting, because what he did in the end was just outrageous.
Yes.
It was just tragic for his fiancée, who's now his wife. But the media is not being too harsh for him. Nike endorses hundreds of athletes. I think they'll be fine without one Ray Rice. And lose an endorsement. If you're going to do something like that, you might as well lose everything you got. If you're going to do something like that.
Now, did you see the video yourself?
I did. I saw it on ESPN over my bowl of Cocoa Puffs last week.
Yes. It was quite a fascinating video.
Yeah, it was. It was a little grotesque.
Yes, it was.
But
unfortunate.
But I watched it several times.
So, do you have a family that you, or anyone you feel this relates to, that you could?
Well, yeah, I have a wife and kids, so when I see something
You do?
like this, I just get, disgusted.
Yes.
How anyone would in that situation. Just a horrible video.
So, speaking of your wife and women in general, there's a national organization for women called NOW that said NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell should resign because of the way he handled the Ray Rice situation. What are your feelings about this?
I agree. You know what? I agree with NOW. This guy Roger, he's got to go. He's been in the NFL for years and hasn't made any really good decisions, I think. From Michael Vick to now, I think it's just he has to go. There's plenty of other qualified people out there that could take his position. Just really no good.
He didn't handle the situation.
I don't think he handled
well.
the situation
No.
right at all. To start with that 2-game suspension back in I think it was August. Really just not a good commissioner.
I agree completely. Speaking of the policy, it changed to a 6-game suspension for domestic abuse, first offense. Do you think he has any right to suspend Ray Rice indefinitely with that new suspension?
Well, that's a tricky question. I think over the controversy, because there was so much controversy about it, I think he's got to go just for public relations type stuff. And I think the policy itself is still a little too weak. 6-game suspension is for something as serious as domestic violence, sexual assault. That's
What do you believe it should be?
I don't know. I'd have to talk to someone in the NFL, body. I'm just an enthusiast.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, what do you think about Ray Rice in the future? Will he get a job again?
No.
With the NFL?
No.
No?
No.
All right. Well, people are saying that American football is too violent, and a lot of the players are becoming violent in everyday lives. Do you think there's any relation?
Well, you teach a kid at age 6 how to hit another kid from then until they're 30-year-olds. What do you get out of that? You get kind of psychologically damaged people. So I think
Yes.
there is definitely some sort of relation there.
All right. Well, that's all the time we have for South Hill Sports Ray Rice edition. Thanks for joining us today, Diego.
Thanks for having
I'm
me.
your host, Wes Drawn, and we'll see you next week.
This has been South Hill Sports. We'll be back in 6 days, 23 hours, and hope you join us then.